Man's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dan French here. French Workbench podcast on a Saturday. Got a full crew. It's getting really hot in here. It's like a fraternity party in here. You got fun guys in here. Just getting that musky smell going. My name's Dan French. I'm streaming live from Las Vegas. I'm your host. And in studio, I'm going to bring around everybody, introduce everybody. This is the most real and behind-the-scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk entrepreneurs here in Las Vegas through on-job experience in Las Vegas.
We are the podcast of the stars.
And if you guys like the content, please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button. We want to hear from you guys. So look, without further ado, as I always say, let's go ahead and introduce Mr. Rick Raines. What's up, buddy? You're back.
Hey, take two, Las Vegas. Yeah, we're here.
Take two, baby. What's going on, Rick?
Oh, everything's good. Had a little bit of excitement. I'm getting my celeb status on.
Dude, what happened with you?
Dude, got a call from Dan Gutierrez, Channel 13 News, and wanted to interview me as the guru for property management here in Las Vegas.
To be fair, you are. That's why he contacted you.
So we did a shoot yesterday out at one of our properties.
That's awesome, man.
And got to do that, and he was exceptionally nice. Hopefully it went well. I felt a couple times I pulled a Joe Biden and kind of lost my train of thought.
You should have said that on camera, too.
There was one comment where it was like something about spaghetti. You guys see that one? There was some question he asked. He started ramming off about spaghetti or something. It was like, you didn't do one of those, did you, Rick?
No, I didn't do one of those. And I wasn't standing there pretending to hold a podium either.
No monitor to read from.
Right?
But apparently what they're doing is a special on Las Vegas real estate and the market in general and what's happening. So they're going to be apparently interviewing the president of the Las Vegas Association, Realtors Association.
Aldo Martinez.
And so he's going to be doing the sales side of it, and I'm right up there doing the property management
That's
side.
awesome,
right
Rick.
along with them.
When's it supposed to air?
Yeah.
They haven't told me because
Okay.
it's going to be this special, so they're still filming other people. And
Okay.
whatnot.
So you're going to be somebody that they're going to consistently interview.
He's going to be the go-to knowledgeable guy, yes.
Man, I do not know.
How do you think they found you? Was it because of the French Workbench?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that's why they excluded you.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Because
what's
they
that
did watch
guy's
the
last
show.
name? His last name is French. Okay, we don't need him. We
Yeah,
just want you, Rick.
we just want the big old guy.
He's got the guns. He's got the experience.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, man?
That's awesome, Rick.
The only thing that I had a problem with was trying to remember. Hey, listen, I take what Dan tells me to heart. And I was telling the guy, hey, we don't want a lot of statistics. We need to do some stories. We need some of this stuff. But at the same time, you got to give them a little bit of statistics just to make yourself credible. And I think I got a couple of them screwed up.
Yeah.
So, and here's the other problem I had. They want me to talk about the rental market in general. Well,
That's a rough.
yeah, that's rough because what Las Vegas Realtors we're only doing with the small mom and poppers.
Yeah.
And I don't deal with the institutional guys that own and manage huge apartment complexes. So and yet they still want me to kind of talk about that and relate it. So I had to kind of fudge my way a little bit on that.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce the guy that's here every single week, Mr. Reliable,
Knocking it out.
Brett Ginny. This guy's on time to everything, Brett. What's up, man?
If you're on time, you're late.
Big discussion about on time.
That's the Wisco in me. No, stressful week, man. Just had a few deals that went sideways.
Again, or is this?
These are the same one. Well, one of them's the same one. It's continuing on for 2 weeks now, which is awesome.
So much fun. Much fun.
So
It's a saga.
So I mean, you're seeing a lot of problems. I guess not a lot of problems, but a lot of I guess adversity going through some of these deals. Huh?
Yeah, it was. They bought a car.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have bought a car, and that set a whole chain of events that messed up my weeks. Because I'm dealing with a title company, I'm dealing with the other agent, I'm dealing with a lender, I'm dealing with everyone in between, and
So you didn't have that
Good
discussion,
times.
or the lender didn't have the discussion that says, "Hey, don't go out and buy something while you're
the
going
lender,
through."
the lender supposedly did, but
Was this from
You
their
know, I mean,
unemployment money that they bought this car?
yeah, no, I don't know, but just one of those things that obviously they shouldn't have done, and.
So what celebrity status? Anything new for you? I mean, Rick, it's going to be hard to hold that baton for, like Rick has
My
here.
celebrity status is this. I heard Gene Simmons is putting his house on the market.
Are you going to
That's
make
the
an
closest
offer,
thing.
bud, or what?
I was say, well, let me just go get my checkbook. What's it like 20 million? Yesterday's
that.
cash, bro.
Let's go ahead and introduce Mr. Doug Liebig. He's back. He's our Las Vegas inspectors, right? Inspections.
Good morning, yes.
Good morning. What's up, man? You did a good job last time, and your continuity with us as far as a crew was amazing. It was stellar last week.
This is a fun crew.
Yeah, I love it, man.
This
So I'm
is
glad
great.
to have you back. And he's got a lot of good knowledge on home inspections. And I brought him on because we do have a guest here, and he coincides maybe with what this guest has to explain. Maybe he can give both perspective, and we can just kind of yeah, and you guys can kind of just bounce off each other. So what's going on with you, man? Anything new?
Just the same old thing. Just staying busy all week and working sun up to sundown. So nothing.
So what day,
nothing out of-
let's
nothing
say
out of
this.
the
When does
ordinary.
your day start? Like, how does that whole thing start here?
My day starts around 6 o'clock. I start putting reports together, and then I get out of the house by about 9:30, and I jump from home to home during the day. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many homes do you think you hit in a day?
Well,
Would you say
Well, typically 2 to 3.
2 to 3 homes? Wow.
Yeah.
So how long does an inspection take?
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Depending on the size.
But,
What's wrong?
Yeah, Monday we got one that's like 6,700 square feet, so I just scheduled one for Monday. I'm like, that's
I'll be in and out on this one.
yeah, I mean, right?
It just takes you that much longer to walk the room.
yeah.
And what if it's older and it has
Yeah.
a ton of things that need to be done
Well,
to it?
that's-
So
that's
you've got to
usually-
note it all. And
Yeah, people.
Right?
Yeah, that's the thing I find with some of these bigger homes is they don't have like a maintenance program that they put together on these homes, so things get out of
sync.
out of sync a little bit if they don't have the maintenance programs with it. It's like it's almost like having a commercial building. You got to keep a regular maintenance or have a maintenance crew come in and do things for
Yeah.
you, like periodically. Whereas some people think you just buy it and forget about it, And it's
Like your
not-
got to always get an oil change.
You got to get an oil change.
Got to keep it maintained.
Just like that Dodge I got 400,000.
That's
miles
right.
on
You
it.
was just saying that 400,000 miles on that truck, man, and it's still running like a.
That's right.
Do you put Royal
Yeah.
Purple in that thing?
I don't even know what that is.
Royal Purples, I heard, is like the top oil. Like if you put Royal Purple, it can go 500,000-600,000. That's what I heard, but maybe I'm off.
What
You ever hear of space shuttle? It's what they put. No. That some bitch gets you point A, point B in 2 seconds.
Whatever Rich Bush said it, That's it. Yeah.
All right, let's get over to our guest, man. We got to introduce our guest. This guy, Cody Milford. What's up, buddy? How
How's
are
it
you?
going? Excited to be here.
Good, man. What's going on? So you're Aspire Design Las Vegas, is that right?
That is us, yes.
All right, man. So what's your role over there? What do you do?
So I'm the head of operations and business development. So we focus on, with our company, we focus a lot about collaboration. So with what we do, I focus mainly on the client interaction and getting those clients to understand what it is that we do and what it is that they actually want. The biggest thing with architecture is just understanding what the client is trying
I
to
can
do.
see that easily. Yeah.
if you
You
don't
know
know
what,
what you're
man?
trying
That's
to
a
do-
huge. Yeah, that's a huge segue in there.
Big
You're
part.
absolutely right when you think about it.
Yeah.
What we have in our mind and what you have in your mind.
It's totally
Here's what we
different.
can do, but we need to know what you're thinking, basically, and that's what you do is find out what people are thinking.
Well, and
Pick their
commonly
brain.
people will come to us and they'll say, okay, I want to do a 7,000 square foot house.
Okay.
But quite honestly, they don't understand what it costs to do a 7,000 square foot house.
What
right?
does it cost?
They find out.
per square foot?
I mean, it really
It costs what you want to stick into it.
It depends on the client. It depends on what you're trying to do. But for
Yeah.
a nice custom residential home and a high-end subdivision, you're going to be somewhere around $400 a square foot.
Whoa.
That's
really where
crazy,
you're
man.
gonna be.
So
That's
400
like-
times 7,000.
Now I'll tell you, a year
You're
and a
around
half
3 million,
ago,
right?
What's being built at 400 now is being built more so that 350, 325 range. So through the COVID and through having the issues with the lead times, people being able to lock in materials,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that's really caused an influx in price. on
Got
that
you.
square footage.
What's the average build time now for something that's high-end custom luxury?
I would say depending. I mean, if you're on the lower side, say 5,000 to 6,000 square feet, you can potentially be somewhere between that 12 to 14 months. month mark, and then as you start to get bigger,
That's on the minimum.
What did it used to be before all of the supply chain problems?
You could get a house done in 12 months. I mean, you're going to work hard to get there, but it's possible on that end. Now, I mean, even to say 14 months, you can't really base anything.
There's so many things out of your
control.
control.
So many different variables right now that aren't in anybody's control.
So the people that are buying these homes and you tell them 14 months and then it goes to 18 into 20, do they get really upset or do they understand as compared to the average person who's having a home built and they're planning on, December and then, a Pulte home or whatever and it gets pushed back? Do they get upset or are they cool with it?
It generally, it's all client based, but I would tell you on the most part, you go and let people hit the open market and try to find what's in their head. And it's very difficult to do. With these people, they know exactly what they want. And when you know what you want, it's hard to cut corners, especially when the budget doesn't make you cut corners,
Right.
Yeah, so you look at a lot of these homes that you're looking at, what's the price range? What's the top end for you guys? Is there like a cap of what you guys go up to?
So with what we do, our budget is whatever our clients can afford.
Wow.
Yeah. So how much money you have?
That's really
that's
really
what they can
decides
do.
the
That's
price.
crazy.
What's
how much it costs?
What's the
Well, how
highest
much you
home
have?
you guys customly built?
So we currently, as we stand, we have a home in the Summit. Well, what's different about us compared
The
to most
Summit.
people? In the Summit,
Wow.
people pride themselves on wanting to do houses between 12. You get the people that are bragging about the 1,200.
Yeah, dude, they're
square
not
foot, the
they're not
2,000
caring about
square
cutting
foot,
corners
right?
there, man. In the Summit.
We're doing a house right now in the Summit where everything on this street is being built for $1,000 a square foot. Our house came in under 600 a square foot. We pride ourselves in being able to take things to that next level. We bring the punch, the design of what you want on that high end market, but through our coordination and the team that we've assembled.
So you said that the average there is $1,000 a square foot. You guys do about 600 square foot there.
Roughly.
Just to put that in context with things. I think it was Ivan Scher just sold one in the Summit for over 2,000 a square foot.
Correct.
And they can build, and you're building one for 600 a square foot.
Yeah.
So if you have the money, these guys are the shit. Basically,
we're doing 4 other homes in there right now.
Yeah.
And not one of our homes, if you were to go and walk through, would you say, oh, that home's less than $1,000?
Yeah.
I mean, with these different homes.
Well, you don't get picked to be in the Summit unless you're good at what you do. Let's just face it.
I agree with that. But I will tell you, I think you'd be surprised on the type of people. It's like we talked before.
Really?
It comes with a standard, and you hit that standard, and then from there, I think a lot comes to the marketing side as well.
Huh? Yeah.
Because there are some homes through there. As people start to get into that Summit and they start to drive through those streets, they will very quickly see who used the right architects and who didn't.
So take me through a process of how somebody would come into the office. They sit down with somebody there and they say, okay, I want to put a blueprint together. How does that whole process work? How you guys come and how it builds itself out?
So generally the process starts with me. So sometimes we'll speak directly to the client. Sometimes we'll be working with a real estate agent. At other times we'll be working with a builder. It really just depends on the case. Generally, now that we've been able to really get a foundation in most of these major subdivisions, we now have clients reaching out directly to us. We're not having to go through the real estate guys as much or even the builders in that point. So a client will reach out to me. They'll say, hey, I'm looking, either they'll have already found their lot or they're looking to find the right lot for what they're doing. I'll be honest, it definitely helps in the process if you reach out and lock in that architect before you pick your lot. What we're finding a lot now is that people will come to us and they'll say, hey, I want to build this 7,000 square foot house. It's very linear. And then they'll tell us they bought their lot in McDonald Highlands. It's extremely deep and very narrow. And it's like, we can't put this house on this lot for you.
Yeah, I got you.
So it's getting us involved and helping us put together some schematic stuff on the front end just to kind of understand the shape and what you're looking for helps a lot.
So you're where the process begins.
Very much.
Do you ever have anybody object to working with somebody right out of high school?
I will tell you, I have had some.
Well, I can tell you, Cody, you may be
for
27, man, but after speaking with you at length this morning, you very much know what you're doing.
I appreciate
Don't
that.
let the face fool you. He's married, 2 kids,
I was
families
joking.
from this. Yeah, but Cody. You're in that role for a reason, man. You're good at what you do. So very knowledgeable, man.
No, I appreciate that.
Look young while you can. Because
Gotta take advantage
As
of it.
long as you can.
yeah, because I don't care who you are, it's going to work against you eventually.
It's going to change, that's for sure.
So people out there, they're always looking at like these multi-million-dollar homes. Is there anything south? You guys do homes, you said, what, 3 to 3 to a million, right?
We roughly, it's not even necessarily a price point. We focus mainly on custom homes between 5,000 square feet and above.
And above. Okay.
That's really where it starts.
So
for
there's
us.
nothing probably at 5,000 square feet below, I would say, what, 2 million?
Yeah, roughly, you're probably right in there. If you say 5,000 square feet, most of these homes is a good starting point. When I say $400 a square foot, that's a very nice home. That's a home to the standard that we like to design at, and that's a very, very well put
Dude,
together.
that's a great price for ultra luxury.
Yes.
Really
Very
good
so.
price for it. You know that, especially new,
Yep.
let alone new.
One
You're
mistake
right.
that people make as well with their price per square foot is they don't necessarily understand their lot, right? So with
Yeah.
certain subdivisions come certain types of lots. If you get a flat lot, then obviously there's not the dirt work, the groundwork that comes with it.
Right.
You get one of those step lots, or you get a lot that's hanging off the side of a hill or things like that, then you obviously know that your price per square foot is going to go up.
Yeah.
And so it's just understanding. That's like I said, when it comes back to, if you get involved with an architect early on, one thing that's key to an architect is they're kind of like the quarterback. They have the connections to everything, right?
Yep.
So the engineers, they all, I mean, yes, the client's paying for those engineers, but those engineers
that's the
work
game
for
they
the
do,
architect,
man.
right?
It's like anything. You want to get something done,
That's
you hire
it.
somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and
That's-
has I mean,
That's really the name of the game.
you know.
Do
Did
you
you
think,
ever get?
Go ahead.
Do you ever get people asking for basements or anything like that up in those hills?
Yeah, so really basements become big for garage space.
Yeah.
Where you start to get into the subterranean stuff.
I
with some
got
of
you when
these
you
sub-
got the garage.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, that's sick, dude,
lifts,
isn't it?
yeah.
As crazy as it's going to sound.
I mean, I would if I could.
You get on these half-acre lots, and people want a 10,000 square foot house. So you want
Right.
a 10,000 square foot house, you're going to take up your whole lot. So it doesn't
Right.
have any place for garages. So
Yeah.
you got to get creative when it gets to that side of things.
Huh.
I did one over in Lake Las Vegas. He had a 10-car lot under 10-car garage underneath his house.
Mm-hmm.
So, just curious, what does that cost to dig down in this ground to
let's-
have something like that done?
I'll tell you a story about a guy I was talking with in Summit the other day.
Okay.
And he built he was one of the first houses to be built in Summit. Beautiful house. It's a Santa Barbara style, around 7,000 square feet. But he built a 4-car garage. And in the moment, with what we do, 4-car garage is a minimum. And he's realized that he wants more garage space. And now he's looking at the idea of putting a basement under his house after it's been built.
Oh, jeez.
Just in what he would have to do dirt work wise, he's about $500,000.
Wow.
Before he gets started on any materials, anything like that, just for what would be involved in doing that.
You're rock drilling when you get up there.
Well, and the Summit is known for its caliche in certain
Yeah.
places.
Dude,
so they
that's
gotta come out, they have to saw
crazy.
cut, the drill bits that they go through while they're trying to get
Yeah,
that
because in
stuff taken care
Wisconsin,
of.
everyone has a basement.
Basements
I hear
are-
it's like, you want a basement? How bad you want it, baby?
Basements are expensive.
It's like the jungle. You know what you want.
Well, let me say this. So there was a lot of, there's a lot of people out there that said, hey, do you guys have basements here in Las Vegas? But it's not because of the weather or things like tornadoes. It's more of for luxury style, right?
Correct.
So, and I think that's why people get a misconception out there. They're like, oh, well, we don't have basements in Las Vegas. Actually, that's not true. We do it for those reasons,
Very
right?
much so. And I'll tell you, basements are becoming more popular. And in certain sites, a lot of it comes down to the site. So if you have a site that's on the side of a mountain, then you probably are going to be dealing with some caliche and some hard rock. If you have a lot that's a little bit more centralized in the center of the valley, then you're probably working with some fill, and then the basement isn't as big of a deal
Right.
in that sense.
Right.
So it really comes down to that lot choice.
Gotcha. So, you look at, let's talk a little bit about the whole new home process and go back to that. So somebody sits in the office with you, you have an architect. I mean, what does the process take before you start to, break ground?
So to start the process, I get with the client, I meet with them, we kind of go through their wish list, get an understanding for what they're trying to accomplish. If they already have a lot, if they don't have a lot, kind of just narrowing all those things out, size, budget. Do you want a great room setup? Are you looking for the formal living room, formal dining? Just getting an overall understanding for the project in itself. From there, as we start to understand their budget, understand what they're looking to do, I'll put together a proposal, kind of breaking down everything that they're going to need to get through this process. With what we do, we put a proposal together that includes everything necessary and needed to get through the building department, get your permits, and to be able to pass it off to that builder and get him started in what's going on.
Yeah.
With that, it's going to include architectural design, all the working drawings associated with that. You have your structural engineering, you got mechanical, plumbing, electrical engineering. Now, in some counties, that's not necessary. Like Clark County, you need MP&E drawings. City of Las Vegas, at times they can be a little bit more lenient with that. Maybe your builder will sign off on that type of thing. So it depends on that as well. City of Henderson, you're going to need those MP&E drawings as well. Then you have your civils, geotechnical, and then depending on the subdivision, you may need landscape as well. With that, we put that all under one contract. That way you're not having to worry about, a lot of times in town, what will happen is you sign your architect up and he'll tell you, well, it's going to be about $1.50 for structural engineering. It's going to be about $1 a square foot for this, so on and so forth. But then you get to it at the end and it ends up being about 25, 30% more than that. And the client's pretty dang upset that what he thought was going to be 80 grand for a set
Understandably.
is 150 for a set of plans. So
Correct.
we're very, very fluid and
Whoops.
make sure people understand the cost associated with everything up front for all those necessary design services.
So go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
Do you have many clients or any clients that ever come with you with site plans from, I mean, there's a lot of luxury homes in the U.S. and you can get schematics or blueprints right off the internet. Do they ever come to you with, this is my idea, but I just want to make these rooms bigger, or do they ever do that?
Almost every time. So that's a
Okay.
big part of the process. In doing this, I think a lot of times people can forget that this house is going to be the client's, right?
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to understand what they're trying to accomplish and what they
Mm-hmm.
want to do. And that's actually, we encourage our clients to go out and look at things like that to get an understanding, kind of educate yourself, because this process is far more in depth than I think most people completely understand.
Yeah.
And so as you start to get in there and get some experience, most of the time you don't understand what you don't like till you see something, right?
Right.
And so if you have a starting point and you understand, okay, I like this aspect of this floor plan, I don't like this or that, then we can come in, bring our expertise, and show you what we know about as well.
That sounds good.
That allows to elevate.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you look at the process now. Permits. Is that a hard thing for you guys to get?
So hard is probably a bad way to put it. We have very good relationships with all the plan checkers in town. We've definitely been in this town for a long time. That's one benefit to having that experience. With
They know
that,
who to
you-
pay off.
You understand how that, you
Let's just face it,
understand
this is
how that
Vegas.
works.
You don't need to hide shit.
He just gave me a wink.
Yeah. She goes, well, we've been in this town a long time, wink.
Right, I will tell you, residential.
He knows how it's done.
Residential's a lot easier to deal in than commercial. But like anything else, the building department's the
Love
most. It's definitely the most unpredictable part of the whole process.
Right.
We can't quote lead times. We can't give you any idea on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're at their mercy 100%.
As soon as you find out who it is, then you can say, no, it's going to take an extra 2 months.
Right. So what is that average time for you guys to complete a home? I know it's all different, but let's say it's somebody that comes in. Let's be honest with this. I mean, you know this, Brett. Everybody knows this, Rick. It's not unrealistic now to say, hey, the average buyer out there is $1 million to $2 million. If you're trying to buy in that upper tier,
That's
not
normal. I mean,
it's not
that's
normal.
still upper
But,
echelon, yeah, but I mean, it's a lot more common than it's ever been in my life.
yeah,
It's like the 400 to 500,000.
Yeah, that's what I say now, which is like, so I got in this business in 2005. And, you know, the average house then, then if you got a house that was like 450, 550, 600, it was like, holy cow, man, these guys are balling and blah, blah. And now.
That was a 4,000 square
Yeah.
foot house with a half an acre.
Yeah. And now like what used to be a 250,000 price point is like a 500,000 price point.
Well, and you have to add the timing to it.
Yeah, and who was 600 before? Now that's like $1 million, 1.1. I'd say probably 1.3 and below.
well, people at this price range, they're out there. They don't haggle.
No.
They know what they
No.
and that's the difference.
Yeah.
Here's where it's at. Okay, you deal with somebody, and we got high-end buyers and people out there that are looking for homes. You work with them. They're just happy to know you and like you and want to work with you more so than, okay, I want to cut corners on this and I want to cut corners on that.
They tend to appreciate my services more, yes.
And it's not so critical. It's not everything's not
Let's put it
so
that way.
critical of like every dollar. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to save money. I'm just saying it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, what I tell all of our clients is they come in because price point, price point does matter to these people. There's no question about it. But if you can provide, if you can help them understand what your service is and what your standard is,
Yeah.
they very quickly understand where their money's going.
As soon as they walk in, you show them the value of you.
The value is.
And once you show them the value, then you don't need to. I mean, that's what you show them, and that does the talking.
Yeah.
You know?
It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you know, talking with you as far as the foundation part of it, talking over here with Douglas, you go by Doug, right, Doug?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do go by
I'm throwing out the Douglas over
okay.
here.
That's okay.
Do the duty.
That's all right. I answer
So-
just about everything.
But you're kind of the starting point before you get to that point with them where you're going through and you're saying, okay, let me look at this foundation situation. Let's look and see what potentially we need to do with the whole structure of getting it started, right?
Right. So we'll go out and we'll do the geotech, and then we'll give them the soils report. You guys, I'm sure, have seen quite a few Geotech reports,
Very
and
much so,
then
yes.
that way you can design based on what the client wants. You know, you can design the house based on what the Geotech report
Well,
says.
and the simplest
so.
way to put it with the Geotech report, really what the Geotech report is going to tell you is, can you do a basement, and what are we going to have to use to build this house?
Right.
It answers a
Right.
lot of the actually some of the bigger questions on the front end. Geotech's one of the first things we do. As soon as we get our client signed, we send out the Geotech, we send out the civil. One thing that a lot of people don't understand with the Geotech is they'll go out and they'll run their samples, they'll pull their stuff, they'll bore, right?
Yeah.
But with these major subdivisions, it doesn't mean that they're going to bore on every single lot.
Right.
And what we're starting to find in some of these subdivisions in Henderson that are up on a mountain, they have that general soils report for the whole subdivision, but because
That's not
it's
exactly
so,
accurate.
it's very bland, very
So you
generic.
could go 10 feet by 10 feet in some areas, and it's completely different.
So we've started
Gotcha.
to kind of suggest to our clients, hey, it probably would be worth spending the extra, say $2,500, $3,000 to get that geo out there and to bore directly on your lot, get an understanding for that. Because like Doug said, it's very, very important to understand your soil and what you're working with before you start.
Man, if
designing.
you're buying a multi-million-dollar house, why would you not spend $3,000?
You'd be surprised.
No, I've been in the business long enough where I wouldn't.
Yes.
Because I know exactly what you mean by
That's
that, man.
true.
You just need to leave it at that. I know.
it.
But it's sad. Not sad, but just not common sense to me. Like, you're right. That's the sad thing is so many of them with that kind of money wouldn't spend an extra $3,000 to do. It's like somebody's like, oh, I don't want to spend money on a home inspection, $350 on a home inspection. My uncle does it. I'm like, dude, a
Basically,
home
just
inspection is the
save $1
best
million
money you can.
with the headache, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a home inspection is the best money you can spend.
Yes.
So it's all relative. You're spending millions, but you're still penny pitching. I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Which kind of comes with the territory with a lot of them, but let's just be honest.
People are people. Just because you have
Yeah.
a high budget doesn't mean you have a high intelligence.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just like money doesn't buy style.
But don't you agree that a lot of the conflict that comes in with people that are out there looking for houses is that we know that the prices are going up. We'll talk about this here in a second with mortgage rates and also homes. But the problem I think a lot of people have is that they get to a point where they start wanting to save every nickel and dime because the prices of homes are consistently going higher, and they're like, you know what, I'm worried. So I need to save as much as I can. And versus say somebody that's got, and it sounds crazy, but just has enough money to do what they want. There's a different mindset where they don't probably go into a situation thinking, okay, I might not want to get this upgrade, or I might not want to, do this or pay this price, or maybe I don't want to get this price.
because
point
they're
of a home.
buying out of emotion, not financing, not financial.
Correct.
Like they're buying what they want to buy, and that's what matters to them most is they're getting what they want. They
Right.
know it's going to cost them more money. I'm that with certain things.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm paying more money. I don't care. I'm paying more money because I want what I want. That's why I'm
I
paying
think it's
more.
an easier mindset though. Like for
You
you
know?
guys, it's probably an easier sell. You don't have to sit there and what I'm saying is when people go in, you're not having to sell them on anything. It's already been sold in their mind. They're just going in.
Absolutely.
I want it specifically this way, and if it's not this way, then maybe we'll have an issue. But and then guys, you know what? Like everybody's like, you know what? We're fine. Like as far as it takes 8-12 months, they probably don't really. It's not really a big deal.
It all
your-
comes down to that though. Do you have say 24 months to go through this process,
Right.
and it's making that very clear as well.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
I mean,
You're setting expectations and standards from the very beginning, and you could never go wrong doing that. And that's the proper way to do business. It works. It's going to cost you money. Yeah, it's going to take time, but dude, we're going to find out what you have going on in your head, and we're going to make that a reality.
well, do you want to buy the 7,000 square foot house in Summit for $20 million at 2,500
Yeah.
square foot or whatever, or do you want to go and buy a lot, take the 2 years, develop it, and do it yourself? That comes down to it as well.
Or do it
how
for
many of these people?
Yeah, I
how
get
many
it.
of these
Okay.
people are financing? Anybody?
Almost all of them.
All
Really?
are
Almost
financing.
all of
Really?
them. Even if they have the cash, they're
So-
gonna
They're
finance
still
it. They're gonna-
because it's free money right
They're
now.
going to purchase the
It's
lot.
free money to borrow right now,
Yeah, they're going
basically.
to purchase the lot cash,
2%?
and
Yeah.
then they're going to
Yeah, I'd
leverage
take that $2 million,
lot
stick another
Okay.
investment.
into
Shit,
their,
yeah. Where-
yeah.
Do they ever just pay
Buy Bitcoin.
Do they ever pay cash up front and then just refi, or do they ever do it that
Generally
way?
what will happen a lot of
Doge.
times too is they'll purchase the lot cash.
Yeah.
They'll use the money that they're putting towards us as well in our plans into that loan, and then they'll decide, okay, I want to build this house at $400 a square foot, right?
Okay.
So they do their loan, they do everything based upon $400 a square foot, and then as we get out into finishes, get out in the field, and they start seeing stuff, then It's okay, I'm going to pay cash for this to kind of build up. So they'll take out $400 a square foot worth of loan or money in that way, and then they'll use cash to kind of come in wherever they want to make things better.
Okay.
In that sense.
So basically, you're saying people are fine with paying, because you go back, for me, I was always looking at people paying a very large down, and then they would say, okay, I want to take a small loan. So they'd pretty much pay almost all cash. And now it's different. Now it's complete opposite. And you know what I've done? We're dealing with a lot of $1 million buyers. I mean, we are now. It's just the facts.
Oh, okay, Dan.
All the time.
Just kidding.
Well, you know this. You're
I know.
working with them. And so we have a lot of people that are out there. And when you look at these people buying these homes that are needing loans, it's not uncommon now to take the full capacity or full amount of what they're looking for. They're going to put down the minimum. They still might have $3 to $5 million in the bank. They're going to still put down just 20%.
Because it's free money.
It's cheap money.
It's cheap money right now. You're borrowing it for basically nothing.
It's just completely different.
So one of the things we talked about last week, what is your demographic for people that are purchasing? Are they mostly older? Are they retired? Are they obviously they've been business people, so on and so forth, or entertainers? I get it, but what's the age bracket on average?
We have a pretty wide range of age bracket, but from an average standpoint, I'd say our average client's between 50 and 60.
Oh, there you go.
So basically, Rick is the only person that's going to qualify. Well, maybe Doug over here will qualify too.
No, but we were talking about last week who you should be going after.
I'm 45. You don't even dare put me in that goddamn category.
Well, look, I've already said I've got a huge. Like, I'm going to still take care of the millennials and my people that are younger generation, my age. But I've really taken a focus on baby boomers, Rick. I mean, you know, with your whole mindset, man, and all this money coming through.
The money, they know what they're doing. They just want what they want now and aren't concerned about saving as much because they've done that their whole life.
Well,
it's awesome.
Most of our clients are very business minded. Most of them, they own their own corporations. They're the doctors. They do those type of things. But with that, what I've noticed is even the ones that are, say, doctors, he's the guy whose name's at the top of the door.
Sure.
He's the guy that owns all of the property.
He owns multiple facilities.
He owns the business.
One thing that we're seeing is this is becoming of an investment. The people that actually understand how to develop a home and have the cash to do it are doing it. Especially in some of these major subdivisions, what they're doing is they're coming in and they're buying the houses at the bottom so they can get in at a decent price point. They're there for a couple of years, then they sell and they buy the lots above them, and then they keep moving up.
So it's like it's a transitional
It's a transition thing. So it's what I've noticed with this custom high-end residential market is most of these people they don't do it once. They do it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as many times as they can. They get in, they create this house that's their dream house. They spend a couple of years, and then they realize what was their dream house is now the past, and their next dream house is actually right up there.
That's the exact same thing that we were discussing before the show with the Bitcoin. They're going in and they're buying these new Bitcoins, the ones at the bottom of the thing. They appreciate a little bit, and then they're turning it back in. They're selling it and going back into buying Bitcoin until the next best thing.
Yeah, but to me, it sounds like an inside job.
Well, it's even the major subdivisions.
All of it is, Dan. That's the way finance is.
I mean, from a
banks are set up. That's why Bitcoin's taking over.
From the marketing standpoint, you look at it like
because it all is an inside job.
These major subdivisions, they'll come in. They're all it's just raw land, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, at one point in time, the summit was just a bunch of desert.
I remember. Right? I used to drive by it for years, and it was just desert. Yeah.
So then the company comes in, they buy up the land, they subdivide, they do the civils, they do what they need to do, right? And then they get on the phone and they call a few people to get George Clooney to buy a lot, or Celine Dion, or get the big people in there. They buy the lots. Then other people are starting to build that up,
and then they can say, George Clooney's right down the street.
But wait, then George Clooney never even has to build a house. The subdivision gets built out. Then there's no lots left. So then when George Clooney goes to sell his lot is worth 5 times what he bought it for on the front end. And he gets out. It's just a pure investment. It gives you an opportunity to take cash, put it into land, and sit on it.
I want to be George Clooney.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying?
I'd have looks and everything, too, then.
Have you ever met a celebrity? And if you have, what is the top celebrity you think you've met?
I had to sign NDAs on both.
Who?
I had to sign NDAs on the two that I would tell you. I can't.
You can't do it.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, was it like north of like...
Were there initials?
Dan, let's put it this way.
One was a social media star, and the other one was a famous baseball star.
Okay.
Well, social media, I don't know who any of the stars are, so you could probably say them, and I'd be like, who?
You know this one.
Oh, all right.
So let's talk a little bit about demographics.
People?
Okay. All right. I've read there's a lot of influx of money coming from China and also Canada.
Yes.
Okay. Are you seeing the same things?
We're seeing it from China more than Canada, and we're also seeing it from California very much so.
Wow.
And the California market is going heavy after Henderson. They love Henderson and they love
Yep.
Southern Highlands.
Yeah,
They
you know
like
what?
the south side
California
of town.
reminds me like somewhat of like Henderson reminds me a little bit of California because it's got that old. I don't know. It's just weird. Like the whole aura of Henderson just kind of makes me feel because I'm from California.
Yeah.
It's old money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old.
It's up on the hill, the
Right.
views, the
Ascaya,
views.
yeah. I mean, and that's what I was saying before. You know, we were talking about before, which is if you think money from California has moved here already, people haven't seen squat.
hasn't even touched the
The
surface.
ultra luxury market
Yep.
of 15, 20, $30 million homes in the next 5 years, you're going to see off the charts.
It's just getting started.
So, yeah, California's been moving here, but the real money of California is just starting.
Yep.
Just starting to move here.
So we're talking here with Cody Milford from Aspire Design, and he's an architect, also ops manager, right?
I am not an architect. I'm the
not.
head of marketing operations.
Okay.
We have a head of architecture.
You're head of architect. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we have a head of architecture.
we're talking a little bit about what's happening with that high luxury market. Where do you think this will tap out? Do you think it's going to continue to go up, or do you think it's going to start to maybe level off here?
I think, like Brett said, we're just getting started. I think that
Really?
I think the Las Vegas
Been
market,
telling you.
the Las Vegas market maybe as a whole might be starting to get to a plateau, but I think in the high end market, it's only getting started.
Dude, there's regular people, then there's ultra rich.
And prices are only
Yeah.
going to go up in the way of it's the supply and demand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, with these high-end subdivisions, they only have so many view lots, and as those view lots start to go away, people are still going to want view
Yeah,
lots.
but what about land? What if we run out of land and then there's nothing like?
Then prices will go up even more.
then
So
they're
you
gonna-
just, you
then
just
they're
made the
gonna-
case even more.
But I'm going to
That's
say this. No, I'm bringing this up because we have a period where we're going to start to run out of land. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. But everybody's brought this up. Now we get to a point where all these builders keep spreading out, keep extending. I mean, we're out past Blue Diamond. We're going towards Pahrump.
We're
I mean, we're going
infill
to
through Kyle Canyon.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So, do you feel like it's ever going to become a problem here? That and also the water situation.
I think that the main issues come from utilities. I think from say highways, things like that. Even in the Northwest area, they put $27 million into a new spaghetti bowl out towards Jones and the 215 out in that area. They've put the money in from an infrastructure standpoint for that stuff to grow. But like you said, I think they were putting a little bit of faith into solar and the wells and that type of thing because
They should. I mean, I'm surprised Vegas wasn't on the solar train a long time ago.
well, it's yeah.
I mean, with the amount of sunshine we get in the state, so much of the state that's owned by the government still,
What
Jesus Christ, we're begging for it.
It all gets what's difficult is it comes down to the batteries. It's not necessarily getting the amount of power; it's just being able to store it. Is what
Gotcha.
the issue is. With
Gotcha.
most of our clients on the high end, they really do their due diligence, and they all come into it with the mindset that if it would be possible to go off the grid. I think a lot of them would like to.
Yeah.
Of course.
But when you start getting into these larger homes, there's just the battery technology.
The's no
isn't
way.
there.
It's just not there, really.
not
For
there.
what the
You-
home requires.
You don't have anybody saying, let's build this 10-car garage and 5 cars of it is just going to be all batteries.
It's
You
just
have that?
at the end of the day, a lot of it comes down to is the juice worth the squeeze, right? So it's
Okay.
for what I'm saving in getting the solar, I'm losing and having to spend this much money on batteries.
Up front.
So do you think they could squeeze enough juice out of the batteries for something like, say, an underground bunker?
Oh, absolutely, we do it in a lot of them.
Underground bunkers.
Yeah.
That would be my home.
Safe rooms, hidden rooms, that type of stuff. And all these homes are getting solar. They're
Yeah.
just not completely off of the grid.
Yeah.
What
because
about
of
the
batteries.
smart technology? Is these things just off the, crazy? It's crazy, right?
It's very crazy, but nobody, from what I can see yet, has really locked that market down. I mean, you have the control fours, you have the Crestron, all the different stuff, but I mean, Google Home puts a heck of a punch up against those guys. I mean, what you can do with Alexa does
Right.
a lot with
Yeah.
what those guys are doing, to be honest with you. I mean, so that's a business that somebody could run with. Write that one down.
So that would just be roping in AI.
very much so.
Really?
Just somebody,
Right?
even if there was a guy that could
Taking all the AI and put it
AI's
into one thing and letting
it's-
that work itself.
It's
it's-
coming, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Why should I do the work when I can have a computer do it?
That's
right.
Better than
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
I think AI is just on the ground floor too. you
just
know?
getting
Oh,
started.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
getting started.
Web 3.0.
Yeah.
That's it.
So where do you think this luxury market? You said obviously it's going to keep going up. I mean, where do you see it in the next 10 years? Can you kind of give us an idea about what you guys are thinking about with this whole luxury?
I think that things are going to start heading west. Henderson has time, but over the next 10 years, I think that Henderson's going to run out of room, especially in that Sky, McDonald Highlands area, and things are going to start heading west. I know that Summit's under negotiation for more lots. The Ridges is opening up a new subdivision off.
They're going to build in the Red Rock National Park. Trust me, they will.
Subdivision going in Far
They'll
Hill.
get up to the road.
Why wouldn't they go north? I
inevitable.
mean,
That's what I was thinking. It's a good point, Rick.
You got the whole freaking valley going all the way up to Mesquite that's opened up there. So
See, that's what I was thinking too when people were like running out
Well,
of
they got
land. I'm like,
Apex.
dude.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to run that line, that water up there.
you may
Apex
not have the
back in the day.
view factor in there, but that doesn't mean that you can't have the home and larger lots and some
Golf
other
courses.
golf courses and maybe even horses or whatever that people are rich. I mean, like equestrian type horses. You know what I'm saying?
It's just going to take time for people to get over that North Las Vegas stigma. It's the same thing with Pahrump, those type of areas. People are going to move there.
Yeah.
As prices go up, they're not going to have a choice. And as that happens,
No, I
then
agree.
everything will move.
And if you
with
think
it.
about it, like where I'm from, in Wisconsin originally, there's a lot of people that drive 45 minutes, 50 minutes every single day to go to Madison
I
or
drove
the
45 minutes to come here.
Yeah, so that's right there, right? So what's the difference between working off a Blue Diamond or and driving in from Pahrump? I've sold homes in Pahrump where for $350,000 you're getting a house that's 4 years old. It's like 2,500 square feet on 2 acres. No HOA.
Yeah, right.
RV garage.
At a well.
RV
and a
garage,
septic.
dude, for $350.
You're off the grid.
It's like the way Vegas used to be.
Yeah.
So here's another question.
Yeah, right.
So if you're saying that the luxury home market is going to continue and it's going to actually expand and prices are going to go up,
I am.
Brett, what do you think? How is that going to impact just overall pricing on all the homes? Is it going to have any type of an impact? I know that it's a much smaller market, but do you think it's going to help increase prices overall, or is it going to have much impact?
I think they're two separate markets.
All right.
Completely different. One isn't going to necessarily.
Two different pools.
Yeah, two different pools. I mean,
So at the very least, the average market is going to help support the luxury market, but the luxury market isn't necessarily going to pull up the average market.
Well, and these subdivisions are getting smarter. So with a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll have their main high-end subdivision, and then they'll have other subdivisions just outside of it.
Kind of like ridges.
Yep, same deal. It's even like McDonald Highlands. You have
Yep.
the Roma Hills right underneath it. With
That
the
comes
sky
up,
and
yeah,
ocean.
and then the
It's
further you
just
go up,
The higher it costs.
working your way up.
the more you're the king looking down on your servants.
You're the high-end.
Where do you want to be?
The castle
I want to be
syndrome.
looking down.
Speaking of that house that you were talking about
Guy
with
in the
Kiss,
sky.
the guy
Yeah,
he was
Gene
selling,
Simmons.
did you see the views
Yeah.
that he saw while they were living
Yeah.
there? It was just crazy.
That's what
views,
happens
man.
when you rock and roll all night and party every day.
Yeah, that's up actually above the office you're at. I mean, it's really there was like 4 or 5 different views, window views. I mean,
Dude, it's sick. I mean, the
crazy.
houses. And think about that, man. Think about having so much money that they're like, why are you moving? My family just doesn't like the heat. For like no other reason. So how much is that? What's that house in the market
I think
for?
they were selling it for like $14 million. I
14
believe.
million, right? So you've got
Yeah.
a $14 million house and you can't even get your family to stay in it because they're like, it's too hot. We're going to stay at our other $1 million, like,
You have a $14 million house and a lot next door.
and a lot next door.
That
And he has
is-
several other homes
It's
throughout. Yeah.
orchard, but
Yeah. And
it's
he's like, well,
a-
I'm on tour. The family doesn't want to come here because of the heat. So I'm just going to sell it.
And he did list those together. That's something.
Yeah,
that
that's
did
smart.
As well, is he listed those together?
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is somebody's going to buy that house.
Yep.
They're going to tear out all those trees and they're going to build another house. I mean, we've done 3 designs
Yeah.
on that lot next.
Think
door.
about the guest quarters you can have on that.
Yeah.
Dude.
So we got any other thing to say here with Cody? Because we need to kind of jump to another segment of the show. Cody, it's been a pleasure having you on. I know somebody wants to get a hold of you. What's the best way for somebody to find you or find you? Because look, there's a lot of people coming from California, so just plug
absolutely.
yourself,
So
man.
you can find us at aspiredesignlv.com, as well as all of our social media handles are Aspire Design LV for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
Pinterest. All
When
those.
you do that, you have to send over a proof of funds.
I'll talk
That'll
to
separate
anybody.
a lot of phone calls for you.
I'll talk to anybody. don't
I'm
worry.
just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, what if you just write it on a piece of paper and then send it? You're like, this is how much I got.
owe you $7,100,000.
That's the name of the game.
Let's talk a little bit. I have a couple of topics I want to talk about that I want to bring up. The first topic, and you could bring your insight on this too here, Cody, and also you, Doug. is mortgage rates and also home prices here in Las Vegas. So let's talk about home prices. There's a lot of speculation out there that everybody was saying that it's really going to taper off next year. We're going to start to see homes really decline. Maybe it's only going to appreciate 5 to 7% going into next year. But then they're saying there's other articles now saying that it's really going to start to increase significantly again in 2022. What are your thoughts, Brett? Anything?
Yes, it's going to increase.
But
I've been saying that for the past like 7 or 8 months.
what do you think it's going to increase, though?
How much impact?
Not that much more. I mean, here's the thing. We're not definitely, or I should say I would be completely surprised if we were still going at 15, 16, 17, 18% appreciation. So I see more of a 2 to 3, maybe 4% appreciation. You know, even if we have 1.5% appreciation next year, that's still higher. That's still certainly not going down. Now, where the difference of that's going to be, though, is the mortgage payments, because I do believe the interest rates are going to be at least another 1.5 to 2 points higher.
So you think it's going to definitely have an impact on buyers next year?
But the problem is there's still not that much on the market.
Right.
And it's still an escalating city as far as demand. So just by the sheer fact of that.
Rick, what do you think?
I agree. The market right now is starting to definitely stabilize. So just as Brett will probably bring up the statistics, just from week to week, it's flatlined
Do you
as
think
far
it's
as the sales go.
stabilizing, or do you think it's people are more educated now than they've ever been, and now it's just all the good homes are gone?
No, I
You
think
don't
it's
think that's the case?
No, it's there's
That's
always
a good point, though.
but there's always
Yeah.
good homes.
Yeah.
So it's time of year, and after again the insanity of the last 2 years, year and a half, it's starting to stabilize. People are done playing the government game. And I think it's going to go up probably maybe a little bit more than what Brett says. Probably 5% is going to be my guess.
Well, Vegas is it's a desired place. It's a hot market.
Yes.
Now, I think it's hotter in some ways, in many ways, because it's cheaper. It's right to California, right next to California. A lot of people from out of the country are coming here, and they know it's a good investment. And so maybe the Midwest will see huge increases. Maybe Vegas will not, but I feel that Vegas will still sustain it because it's all about supply and demand.
Yeah.
And if the supply is low, the demand is going to continue to be high.
I mean,
I can't see how it's not going to continue to increase. It might even increase in the 10 to 15% next year.
So if you look at where Las Vegas is located, now granted, I came out here originally from Wisconsin to Las Vegas through a friend of a friend in real estate. But as I got out here, it was, very much the intention of, okay, I'm going to come out here now in 09 and I'm going to pay my dues. I'm going to learn the game and the way it's played out here and the people out here and the way it is. But ultimately, the game plan is down the road, how is Las Vegas not begging to be the next Southern California?
Right.
I mean, it's absolutely begging for it. And to me, it was only a matter of time. So I'm like, I got no place to go but right here.
Don't you think it already is? Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, here,
It is.
you
That's what I mean. But I'm talking like 12 years ago.
You got your unemployment rate in Nevada is that of the same. It's matched with Southern California, 7.5%. Right, we're the highest in the country.
Yep.
So we start putting those people back to work. Those people are going to need houses. They're going to want houses, and I think that's what's going to actually sustain our market, or maybe even make it go up. We get that employment rate back down.
The demand isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You
If
know?
it's not going to go anywhere, if there's no reason for it to drop off, then why would you think it wouldn't just continue to keep going higher?
I also think that people, like I said, with people getting more educated, once you buy a home and you go through the process, you understand how it works. I mean,
it's easier the second time.
Yeah, if you can get equity in your home, you're going to start. People are going to start
Absolutely.
pinballing around.
Absolutely.
You're going to buy a home. You're going to sit on it for a year. You're going to make a little bit of money. You're going to move on to something next.
Yeah.
People aren't afraid.
People are a lot
to-
more comfortable with that, especially the younger generation.
Way
as
more.
Dude, you
Well,
get that? Yeah.
There's so many different media outlets that can give you good information.
Yep.
Like even the one we're on right now with what you're doing with this
Yes.
podcast. People are getting information that were top secret stuff that nobody
Man,
had. to
it
do.
was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Nobody knew what I was
Dude,
talking about.
5 years ago, if we were
Now-
talking about this with someone, we'd have to kill him afterwards.
But it's a different world. People want the content. We're trying to give the content, right? And we can't give like intricate details behind the scenes, but we're gonna give you the full, the forefront of what we see. And hopefully you guys, it helps with making that better decision. I think it does. But there's a lot of data out there too online, like you said, the more and more people tune into stuff like these podcasts and things like that, I think it makes my job easier personally.
so.
Yeah,
But it does because they already know, okay, Dan knows what he's
Yeah.
talking about because I just looked this up. Rates are this is this. Okay, we're good. And I think that, but also I do feel that a lot of the stuff that people were trying to hide, you can no longer hide anyways because now it's you're regulated pretty consistently now.
Yep.
What do you think, Rick?
I agree.
I concur. I concur, Your Honor.
The guns, baby.
There you go.
Where do you
Look
think,
at those
Rick?
puppies.
I think I got some big ass guns. What's up? Some bitch.
So you guys do feel that
Don't make me bring out death and destruction.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see death and destruction real quick, buddy. Let's see
Which
that.
one do you want, baby? You want death or you want
Wait,
destruction?
hold on. Let's get back. Let's see this real quick, Rick. Look at those, baby. Woo! That's a lot of work.
The only question I want to know is, did you get tickets to the gun show?
Right. So you guys, obviously, we all feel. So real quick, Doug, what do you think about this? Do you think that the homes are going to continue to go up? Then you agree?
Yeah, I think they're going to stabilize out for a little while, and I think I don't see it crashing. I don't see it coming down like it did in 2005, 2006.
Because what's behind it's totally different.
And then the other thing is too is the money, the value, the price of the houses keep going up. Well, the value of the money is going down, so the price of the houses have to keep going up, right?
Yeah.
And then they got to keep printing money.
So that house may have gone up 60 grand in value, but the interest rate you got it for was the same as if you didn't pay 60 grand more.
Exactly.
So it washes itself out.
Exactly.
Right.
Next home.
We were kind of talking about that last week, you know?
Yeah, it
That's-
washes itself out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you think over here, Cody? What do you think about the price is going to continue to go up? You brought up a good point.
I think it really just comes down to Las Vegas as a whole. I mean, with anything, there's, I don't want to say smart people and dumb people, but it seems
There
like
are.
the average person is a lot more educated than they've been in the past. That
Yeah.
average buyer, even the people that are coming to sit down with us, I mean, people know what they want.
Well, yeah,
and
yeah.
if you can, we live in a world where you get what you want. If right now you decided you want a soda, you could jump on an app and somebody would come deliver it to you.
Yeah.
right now.
That's crazy
So
itself.
why would I live in a house that I don't want to live in?
Yeah.
I think it brings up the idea of scarcity, and I'm gonna bring this up to a point. Now you go back 10 years, right? Properties on the market were in abundance. You had a lot of opportunity. Rates were relatively. It wasn't such a frenzy. And I feel that when you start to see things where people have the fear of missing out, including prices are consistently going
FOMO.
up.
Yeah.
Now it's bringing everybody. Wait a second, I need to pay attention. Right now it's school time. I need to figure out. So now it's forcing people to go online and do the work and ask the right questions. Because before, just take care of me, make sure I get it done. A lot of data wasn't out there. Now it's they have to or they need to be
The fear of missing
educated.
out. It's the same reason why Bitcoin goes up.
Well, if you're going to spend 20 grand over asking
Well, when you
price, you
don't-
should know what you're buying.
66,000. Now everyone's going to pour.
Yeah, and when the stock prices don't go down, you're not getting at the bottom anymore. You're right there. You're
Yeah.
gonna keep going up.
You're like, wow, this is my new bottom.
Yeah, this is my new bottom. That's exactly.
So we do all agree that rates will impact this as well. If rates
Yeah.
continue to go up now, what are your thoughts? Because now it's saying that in 2022 rates are going to continue to creep up. They're saying that the Fed's fund rate is going to come up. Do you think that rates will continue to make an impact on people buying and regressing, purchasing and refinancing homes?
What are your thoughts on the interest rates? You're the lender. What do you feel is going to go realistic within the next year?
I don't feel they're going to do much. I feel
Really?
they're going to go up, but
Okay.
but it's really a tactic to maybe counter inflation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that rates are going to continue to go higher because the Fed knows what's going on. They don't see enough data. They keep talking about let's do a Fed's fund rate.
Sure.
Let's do
Yeah.
a meeting. What really happens with those meetings? They come out and there's nothing that happens. There's
they're,
zero.
They're gonna kill themselves if they raise the rates.
Yeah, the economy
They slit their
can't
own
take it
throat.
on.
They're gonna
Yep,
cut
they'll
their own
slit
throat.
cut their own throat.
If they raise those interest rates, they're done.
Yeah. And I don't feel, and look, will rates go up again at some point? Maybe. Now, in this situation, probably not. We do have inflation higher. What they typically do is they raise rates to counter that. But there's a lot of stuff out there that shows that the economy is still recovering. We don't have goods and services like we used to, right? I mean, not at our fingertips. So to answer the question about mortgage rates and home prices, I feel that home prices will continue to go up. I feel it might even push even higher than 7% by the time of end of fourth quarter of 2022.
Really?
I feel that way. Now, also, I don't feel that rates will go over 4.5%. I think if it did go to 4.5%, I would be astonished that it would go that high. What do you think?
Yeah.
You concur?
I agree.
You're the lender. You're asking us. I don't know, bro. You tell me. This is your business and your podcast. I'm just kidding.
Let's head over to Rick about what's happening in property management.
Brother.
Oh my God. Dan, what do you think is happening in property management?
I concur.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk us about property management. Give us an update, Rick. What's going on?
Oh my God. Basically, it's kind of interesting. Brett will probably touch on this, but like we said before, home prices, available properties week to week for sale have flatlined. Actually, they went down about 1%.
Yeah.
Brett can talk about that. But here's what's interesting. Available rentals went up almost 6%.
Wow.
Week over week.
So is this similar to homes, and they're starting to show a sign of increasing? Is that not?
No, homes went down and
Okay,
rentals
so
went
homes
up.
went down. Okay, Brett will tell us about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Homes went down.
and that's what we're seeing again. Like I've said, available properties are. It's easier to find a place. So if you're looking for a place, this is a great time. Get out there, rent a place. You don't have the competition that you had before. And you're not having to stand in line except on lower end properties.
Yeah,
those are going like overnight still.
So what is the average? What is the average wait time for somebody to get into a home? I mean, is it
again? It depends on the price point.
So let's say it's a 2,500 square foot home or less. What is the time period? Just give me a rough idea. Would you say?
As far as from an application process?
Yep.
Yeah, 2-3 days.
Okay, so it's not like they're waiting 30 or 50 days or 60 days.
No, and there
right?
isn't anybody else. I mean, you're probably the only one.
Correct.
You're not up against anybody else either. That's at this point in time. Like we said, a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, that wasn't the case.
Where's that competition where people are duking it out to try to get into a house?
They're probably are a new property. Let's just go with property. You're probably under $1,500 a month.
Okay.
So anything under
For the
$1,500
average rent?
Yeah, for what I'm just saying, if the price point is under $1,500 a month, then you're going to be competing. If it's over $1,500 a month, it slows down. You get above $2,000 a month, and it's really slow. So right now, because of this time of year.
Yeah, and so you were actually on a news channel. I know you talked about it, and congratulations on that. So I don't, that's a big deal. You guys, we're celebrity status right here, right now.
Yeah.
Just Saturday.
That's right.
Right now, and I'm asking for your autograph after that. I want it to be signed, just guns.
Christ!
The pythons.
I didn't know I was going to be in such presence this morning. I would have dressed up a little bit more, brought my A game.
I was going to talk to you
Put on
about
my
that.
Sunday best.
So what about landlords? Is there anything new going on with landlords? Like, is there any news out there? Just some quick.
Nothing's changed for landlords. We still have the hold on those that have applied for CHAPS or any sort of help, either federal or state or city.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, everything's a go.
Yeah. So there's nothing new as far as people getting evicted. And
they're getting evicted.
They're getting evicted. There's nothing. Like, do we have a high eviction rate here in Las Vegas
Compared to other places?
to other places, no.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
The pro-landlord laws.
Well,
here.
actually, maybe compared to back east, where they may still have some moratoriums on evictions going on. But that's in part what fuels both the rental prices and the sale prices is once the moratoriums were off, I think that was the demand went through the roof. And so that's settling down now that it's been basically 6 months that we've been able to initiate evictions and things of that nature, at least in the rental market.
Okay. Brett, do you concur?
I concur.
What's going on in the real estate world, Brett? Give us the scoop, buddy.
Just concurring this week.
Can I ask one question about the rentals?
Absolutely.
Sure.
So we're starting to see on the new construction, and there's some of these larger rental companies that are approaching several different architects throughout town about building these rental-only type communities. We've seen this out in Pahrump. We've seen this in
New home
Arizona.
builders.
We've
We've talked about
in
this,
a few
yes.
different places. I just want to know how you think that's going to affect the market on that end.
I'm going to take I'll be honest with you, I'll take a wait and see. But again, if you increase supply and you're not increasing demand, it's going to cause the rental prices to go down a bit.
I know you didn't ask me, but I'll give my opinion on it. My opinion is this,
I agree.
In 2000, to put the record forward, he concurs from the very beginning. In 2013, I sold a crap load, like 400 short sales to Blackstone. Blackstone's one of the hedge funds that are going to builders and want to buy them just strictly to rent them out.
Right.
In my experience, follow hedge fund money because they're ahead of the game.
Always.
So if you kind of want to know what I personally think is going to happen, I think that Blackstone knows something about the housing market,
Right.
and they know home prices aren't going down, and they know that home affordability is on the decline, and they're putting their money where their mouth is right now. That's my feelings on it.
Go ahead, Doug.
And then Zillow quit buying houses.
Yep.
I read an article that Zillow quit buying.
Why is that? Is there a reason for that?
I don't know.
They're kind of always over the place with buying, and then they'll stop buying for a while. They're trying out a few different programs.
Yeah, I heard they got to a point where they couldn't have the contractors in there doing the repairs to the houses that they had, and
it's delaying everything. Now you've got now they're worried about getting rid of their back inventory.
Yeah, so they quit buying
Until they do that.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows how long that'll take.
We Buy Homes still going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the real estate world, Brett?
Man, so number of homes on the market, 3811, single family, not condos and townhouses. And last week it was a little more. It's like 3850 or something, 3854. So we've actually gone down 50 homes.
Wow.
More importantly, we're not going up. So there's not any
a huge influx then, really.
No, when it's stagnant. It's basically the same. So obviously there's more homes than one or two coming on the market every week, but you have that as many selling.
Yeah. So
it washes itself out.
Does anybody know what the it used to be like? For every 1,000 people that moved in, there was 1,000 people that moved out of Vegas. Anybody have any
It's
kind of
no. I mean,
statistics on that?
other than just looking at this, it's kind of washing itself out. I mean, because there's 50 less on the market now than last week.
Right.
So obviously there was more than one or two homes that came on the market. It's just that there were 50 more that sold.
Yeah.
Then got listed.
Or there may have been more that got sold, but
Or in contract.
But there still may be fewer that actually got listed too. In both of those together,
correct.
It's never just one thing.
Yeah. So I don't know what the exact number is, but I mean, the overall picture is that there's just not much supply in the market. Period.
Some of the things you're seeing out there with challenges is they want to know, is there multiple offer scenarios? What is the experience if you're taking it through the mindset of somebody out there looking for a house? If you're talking about 415 below, I don't care if it's North Las Vegas, Henderson, wherever it is. I mean, for example, we had that I ran comps for an agent earlier this week that was buying a house in Henderson, and it was like 2,500 square foot house. Yeah.
And it had a pool.
Yeah.
And like an 8,000 or 9,000 square foot lot, no HOA. And do you know how many homes like that were for sale in the market in Henderson? This was the only one.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the only one. And to run comps, there were only like 3 or 4 in the past 6 months to even run comps from in all of Henderson.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
for that. So,
and then last year, we had 2,000 or 2,300 on the MLS, and it just kept staying steady.
Like I said, last week, I took a listing in the Northwest off of Sky Canyon on the other side of the 95, in Spring Mountain or Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain, sorry. But we had it listed at 475, and it was in really good condition, remodeled on the inside, pool, nice lot, 3-bedroom, 2,000 square feet, and we knowingly listed it higher than anything that sold in there. Within 5 days, we got an accepted offer.
Oh, wow.
But the difference, I will say, though, is that if that was this summer, there would have been 20 offers in the first day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we still need to see what the appraisal is going to come back at and deal with that. Back this summer, someone had been like, I'll waive that. I would have had 10 of them waived it. We're still getting multiple offers, and I ended up receiving a total of 4 offers on it. But it took a week. Yeah. It took a weekend of open housing. And that's with a desirable home below 500. Yeah.
As a
You know?
listing agent, let's say you're listing. I don't know how the tactics work. I just want to bring this part up. You're out there and you're getting multiple offers, right? As a listing agent.
Yep.
Do you make that a point to tell everybody that's a buyer out there that I got other offers? Because you
Absolutely.
because you're just trying to jack that price
Yeah,
up,
I'm there
right?
to represent
So-
the seller's best
Right.
interest, and that's to get them the most money as
So
I
do
can.
you ever bluff? Do you ever play their pull their bluff though, where you're like, okay, I see what you're doing. So at the same time, as a buyer's agent, I'm gonna make offers at multiple different places.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
Right, and that's really the tactic. So are you seeing that a lot, or is it, hey, you know what? It's kind of more of a slower market with this. Multiple offers are gone, right? Pretty much for the. I mean, not
There
gone,
may be
but
listen, there may be a few buyers that are writing on multiple properties at once, but me as a listing agent, like in this particular situation with my listing, I don't know if they were writing on other ones. I can assume that if the agent wanted to do a good job for their buyer, they should. Because I do.
right.
But on this one, I'm on the listing. So you better not do it to me, you son of a bitch. No.
But I mean,
But
there's,
no,
there's
I
certain
mean-
tactics and stuff people really don't understand, and this is what we
Yeah.
talked about over
Yeah,
here
I mean,
with
there's-
Cody. Is that people
yeah.
don't understand what we're doing, but these are the reasons why we're doing it.
Yeah.
To maximize your.
I tell everybody
opportunities.
at first, I say, okay, here's how we should approach it, and here's why. Because then if you do this and we do this, but then we won't hear back on that one, so we can get this other offer in on this one, and we'll have time to find back on that one. So I'm a buyer's agent. I'm representing you as a buyer. My job is to bring you as many possibilities as I can. So if I get you in contract on 3, and you get to choose which one of those 3 you want, you're in the best position. We may write on 3 and get all 3 rejected. Right? Yep. So we can always cancel the other 2 because it's just verbal at that point because they're all within the same time.
Anything else on real estate, Brett?
No, that's about it,
That's
man.
it, man.
I pretty much know it all.
I just.
Hey, I got
Oh,
one
should I
more
not
thing.
say that?
Yes.
Yeah, I got one more thing.
I'm joking, everybody on the
happened
internet.
in our here in Vegas this week that Brett probably knows about, but Clark County about 3 days ago they passed a law or what they're going to be doing, and they're going to start selling low income housing.
I saw that.
And
Yeah,
it's
I brought that up too a while back. Not saying
Yeah.
to take away your
Yeah.
thunder, but
no. Anyway, I just it's down on Cactus between Rainbow
Explain.
and Buffalo.
so how does somebody get qualified for that? Did they bring that up?
You have to make less than a certain amount of money.
64,000, family of 4, so that's 80% below the median income for the area where they're building. My question is, if you put low-income housing next to these larger,
I know
more
it's the
expensive
same thing
homes,
I said, which
what's gonna happen? And I don't know all the specifics. Brett probably does. How long do they have to hold the property?
Yeah.
Once they sell it,
I mean-
is it going to just jump up to where similar homes are priced? And they get to cash out, and how is that actually helping low income?
Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody's for affordability, and it's a great idea. Just don't put it next to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like prison.
Well, they got to put it
Prisons
somewhere
are
though.
great, they're good, but just
Yeah.
don't put a prison in my backyard.
Yeah.
Because realistically, that's what it's going to do.
Now, if you think about it,
Let's just face it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, people don't
between
wanna-
Rainbow and Buffalo, they're in prime area.
Yeah,
All right, guys, we're gonna end the show. Brett, you got anything else to say, buddy?
that's about it, my man.
Brett Jenny, Simply Vegas. Look him up. We're gonna talk over here to Douglas Liebig. Look, Doug, what's going on, man? How does somebody get a hold of you? He's a Las Vegas Inspections. So go ahead and talk a little bit.
Las Vegas Home Inspections. My email address is lvhomeinspection lvhomeinspections@gmail.com or dliebig@lvhomeinspections.com. And my phone number is 702-806-5280. Give me a call if I can help you out. I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, guys, use this guy, man. He's knowledgeable. He knows what he's talking about. He's a great inspector. So he's gonna inspect my home. So I'm gonna bring him. I attest to this guy. Also, we have Cody, Mr. Cody Milford. What's going on, man? So tell somebody how. Again, thank you for coming on. By the way,
Absolutely. I
appreciate it.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm glad
It's
to
a
be here.
pleasure to have you on. Everybody's more educated and probably smarter now that you're leaving the room. But
Cody and I are talking now.
right? How does somebody
He's not
get a
getting
hold of
out.
you, or how does somebody find you?
So the best way to get a hold of us is just to go to our website. Through our website, it's got all of our contact information. There's a portal for you to communicate directly with me or somebody in our office. If anytime you need our office, 702-852-1230.
Okay.
Give us a call. Susie, she's the nicest person you'll ever meet in your life. She'll be the first one you speak with.
Cool.
And we'll go from there.
Rick, I want to also give you your shout out, man. So you got to tell us, Atlas, talk about property management. You're a realtor. How does somebody get a hold of you?
Atlas Group LC. We're on all social media platforms. You can call us at 702-916-2200 or on the website, www.property-mgmt.com.
You guys want to take a look too, because you're going to be on a news channel, right?
Yeah, we're going to be on Channel 13. Don't know when, because it's a large show that they're putting together on various aspects of the Las Vegas real estate market.
Guys, we're going to end the show. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button if you like the content. Also, comment in the comment section. If you guys have questions for any of these gentlemen here that came today, please put it in the comment section. They'll be checking this. I'll be checking it, sending it over. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get this thing to grow. We're trying to put that content out there. And that's it. This is Dan French. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench Podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio-only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.